Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be going over the upcoming severe weather. As always, we're heading into the time of year where we're always going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking also about that major winter storm, possibly one of the biggest of the season for the eastern United States. We're going to be talking about that as well, and then the overall upcoming pattern also. Anyways, before I get into things, be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. For today's comment of the day, I want to know, do you think that we will have an enhanced risk with any of the upcoming severe weather days? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Now, if you hear rain at any point in the audio of this video, that's because there's a lot of heavy rain hitting my window this morning. I thought almost that it would be pretty difficult to record, but it's actually lightened up a little bit. That might get heavier at some point, but I'll show you where that is on the radar, what's impacting me now, because I feel like that'd be kind of fun. And let's just go over things. We have a little bit of precipitation here over the northwest and through portions of the Rockies here, even into the plains where there's some snowfall, very, very cold temperatures there. Lots of lightning and thunder here for the southeast that's been going on. So we've been seeing that for these regions, especially down there in Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. But we've seen some of that creep even into the Carolinas and even up into Virginia for certain portions, which has been very, very interesting. And on this end, we have more of like a, north of that area, we have mostly like a winter storm going on. So rain on the southern end down here, and then snow up here on the northern end. So this is where we've been dealing with that snowfall. And it's going to get even heavier for the northeast, so we'll talk about that in a minute. There's almost two pretty major snowstorms coming up for that region. Let's just zoom into the northwest. Now, for these regions, we can see the flow is something like this, where it's, heading pretty far southward, but then it's curving towards the east. We can see that at pretty much all points. It's probably what the jet stream is doing, and it's carrying these storms. We can see snow for certain parts, rain for the valleys, regions like that. We even see some snowfall here for east of the Rockies in Nebraska, Kansas, and then portions of eastern Colorado and eastern Wyoming as well, especially southeastern Wyoming. They're seeing a lot of snowfall in that region. There is some snowfall up here in the upper Midwest and Great Lakes. We're seeing some of those snow showers, although they are very, very light at this point. Then let's head down here where we've had a lot of thunderstorms and even tornado warnings throughout the morning this morning. I've been watching that come through. Lots of lightning, though. Lots of lightning for this area. South of Birmingham in Alabama, we've seen just so much of this lightning activity. You could see just hundreds of lightning strikes coming in for some of these thunderstorms in here near Montgomery, and even south here in Florida, it's been even worse. So let's look at these. Just tons of lightning taking place in this region of the panhandle of Florida. Even north of I-10 there, we've had this tornado-warned storm that really rolled through right in there for quite a while. Mariana right there, just to the north of Mariana. So hopefully everybody's staying safe during that. These overnight tornado events do freak me out, obviously, for good reason. Panama City is now underneath that major thunderstorm that's taking place. Tons of lightning and thunder happening in there. And that's going to be heading towards Tallahassee and Madison later on. Now, further south in Florida, more over the main area of Florida, we've had these showers and thunderstorms taking place in here, although hasn't been a lot of lightning that's been hitting Jacksonville now. That's where it's pretty much over, but we have some of that activity still lingering. Now, as we head further north, we can see that we have quite a bit of different areas of rainfall, some thunderstorms along this line in here, and then there's been some thunderstorm development in here as well. We can see that right there. I put the line just to the east of it, so that is where that heavier thunderstorm is taking place. Let's just zoom into this region. So I live somewhere where this yellow circle is. I'm just going to say that. And there's been some heavy rainfall throughout this entire yellow circle region. So if you hear that, that is why. Now, let's take a look at some of that snowfall that's developing now. So there is flooding potential, as here in Virginia we've had 0.92 inches of rainfall just this morning, and it's been very dry lately. The ground isn't really soaking it up. It's really just running off the ground because it's so dry. and that can cause some flooding concerns. So for a lot of these regions that are seeing that heavier rainfall, that is a concern at this point. But outside of that, we do have this snowfall developing in here, although it's been mixed. It's mostly up here where I think we're really going to be watching for heavy snowfall amounts later on, as all this precipitation is obviously heading north into this region. That's going to lead towards some snowfall for these regions. We'll take a look at that in the model guidance, but what we're going to do is we are going to move on towards that model guidance and take a look at the overall pattern, severe weather threats, and snowstorm threats moving forward. Now here we are taking a look at some of this modeled guidance here on our European model. We can see this heavier precipitation down here. This is kind of that southern slider nor'easter storm we were taking a look at for a long time on the models actually happening. So we've been talking about that one for over a week now. We also have this snowfall going on up here. We always talked about on this frame about when it was long range, how there'd be a storm up in the northwest and also be one in the southeast. 2 storms by this point. That's what we were saying. And as we move forward, we could see this become that major snowstorm, or kind of moderate to major snowstorm up here. I think some areas could get 6 inches plus, but generally it could be lighter for some other regions. There will be a bullseye in there that I think will get quite a bit, and it probably is going to be in northern Pennsylvania, New England, southern New England primarily, something like that. So we see that move up and move out. I want to remind you guys, again, we did post that total snowfall on all 3 of the major models on the Patreon page, as well as the total rainfall over the next 10 days as well. You can check that out by joining our Patreon page in the description and in the pinned comments down below. So many of you have been joining that Patreon page, and I appreciate it so much. I'm going to be bringing you guys more consistent content over there, as I've really neglected that in the past. But that's a really cool way for me to just post some written posts for you guys. It's really cool, and get messages from you guys as well. I've been trying to respond to every one of those lately, even though there was a lot in there, but I tried to go through it and respond to as many of you as possible. Now, as time moves on, as we reach towards Friday, February 11th, we could see this snowstorm developing in here, very elongated, with a lot of precipitation down here in the southeast as well. Unfortunately, this sets up for a very major winter storm here. 998 millibar low pressure center there, 1002 millibar low pressure center there. Kind of the flow is just about like this, but this is going to be heading also eastward. We see heavy snowfall from northern Mississippi and Alabama all the way through Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana, New York, Pennsylvania, all of these regions seeing these impacts. And then even by the time we reach this point, it kind of redevelops primarily on the southern low pressure center for North Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, Maryland, Vermont, New Hampshire, and even up in through Maine as well. Very heavy rainfall for the coast here. Very heavy snowfall just for the interior regions here. Now, we have seen the models. This is still 90 hours out. We still have seen the models trend east a little bit at times, where we see this snowfall get a lot closer to the coast for a majority of the storm. But also a lot of the time we've been seeing this rainfall for a majority of the coast. So this is going to unfortunately be a nail biter for us for the most part. But regardless, by the time we're reaching about 8 p.m. on Saturday, so this will be primarily a storm that will last Saturday into Sunday. So we could see that this does reach the coast for most regions here by the time we are reaching about 8 p.m. on Saturday, even pretty far south as well, which is very interesting. We see it move up eventually, move out, and then we get in a much quieter pattern after that storm is said and done for quite a while. No major storms to speak of. Let's see. It's kind of lagging and loading. Let's see if we get anything. So you do get this storm. By the time we're reaching about the end of the model run, the weekend after, about the 19th of March here, we do get a low pressure center developing there, some storminess up here, but generally it looks like the pattern could be quieter than it is now. We'll have to wait and see what that storm does though, because outside of that, there isn't much activity expected after that major winter storm that we expect to be possible. Now let's get straight into the Storm Prediction Center real quick. Here's the day 1 categorical outlook, and we have 2 general thunderstorm risks, one there and one there. I'm underlining both of them. That's where we expect general thunderstorms, but not really any severe weather. Although it is possible, it's not necessarily likely. Now, in this darker green region, we have our marginal risk, and that is where we expect isolated severe weather to be possible, but not necessarily likely. Now, in this region, that's our slight risk area, and that is where we expect severe weather to be kind of likely and in a scattered form. We'll see where those reports come in, probably pretty scattered within there. Not everybody will see severe weather in there, but a lot of people will. And that's for today, Wednesday on the 9th of March. Now, as we head towards the wind individual category here. We see a 5% chance within 25 miles of a given location there within the green, and a 15% chance there within the yellow. Let's move towards the hail now, where we only have a 5% chance here within this entire green region. Again, everything is within 25 miles of a given location. Tornado threat today is a little bit elevated. We do have a 2% chance within 25 miles of a given location there within the green area there. And then a 5% chance there within the brown, which is a little bit elevated like I mentioned. Now, for day 2, we do have a marginal risk and a general thunderstorm risk. So the general thunderstorm risk, again, is where we don't expect severe weather, but it is a little bit possible always. We do have our marginal risk where, again, we do not expect severe weather, but it is possible for sure within there. And there could be some very isolated reports that do come in with some severe weather. Now, here is our individual wind outlook. We do have a 5% chance within 25 miles of a given location, so we probably will get a few reports in there of damaging wind. It's probably more likely than not that we do have some reports, as that just popped up. I have no idea what that was. We also have under 5% chance for hail and under 2% chance for tornadoes. But day 3, we do have a general thunderstorm risk stretching all the way up the mid-Atlantic. We do have a marginal risk here for the southeast, where, again, severe weather isn't likely, but it is possible. And then our slight risk here, where we do expect severe weather to be sort of likely and in a scattered form for Florida, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina there in the southeast. We don't have the individual threats here for day 3 yet, but tomorrow we will. And then our day 4 outlook here, we can expect this yellow region to be a slight risk on Saturday, March 12th. This entire yellow region. So we do have a threat, a 15% chance of severe weather threat on day 4. We will see what this categorical outlook looks like tomorrow, because tomorrow this will be day 3, and we will be able to see the general thunderstorm risk, marginal risk, and slight risk with this one. So again, for today's comment of the day that I asked you guys earlier, do you think that any of these days will be enhanced? Be thinking about that and comment down below for that. Anyway, for today's confidence tab, we're at a 4 out of 6. Very, very unsurprisingly. For today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, what do you think is the maximum snowfall amount with this snowstorm coming up? The very major one for the interior Northeast and eastern United States as a whole, and even Ohio Valley. And James Marr said, I believe 2 feet is the maximum amount of snow we will see for the mountainous regions of the Northeast. And believe it or not, I think that's pretty possible for sure. For today's patron, highlighted today, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons, Bill Crates, James Wade, Dovin Nagel, Larry the Pan, Andy Birchfield, Patrick Strickland, Dave Scott, and Donna Carnes as well. I'd also like to thank our diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Colley, Noah Harlan, Kudalessa, Catbite, Charles Stinnett, Bill Dallas, Gary's, and John Khaleesi also. I'd also like to thank our channel members, Catbite, Stephen Finn, and Jeremy Cox as well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.